Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Okay, today is officially October 30th, which means, yeah, October's coming to an end, unfortunately, okay? But today I have gathered here a list of movies that I watched for the first time this October of 2022. I did watch other movies as well, but they're movies that I've seen before, so I wanted to kind of just do a list of things that I had never seen until this month. And I have a pretty decent list here. By the way, if you did watch my Halloween video, you will see that no, I did not watch a lot of the movies I was meaning to get to. Some of them I did, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, I apologize to myself because some of those movies look genuinely good, but I just didn't find the time to just sit down and watch all the ones I wanted to. But I could still watch them, by the way. I just, I didn't get to watch them during Halloween season, which is October basically. But I still have a list here of movies that I want to get to. I want to get to tell you about because these are all movies that I've seen for the first time. Some of these I've already mentioned on this channel probably multiple times, and some of these I've done reviews on, which you can also check out. If you go on this channel, look through my videos, you can see some of these I've already done reviews on, so I'm not going to take too long on these, okay? And then some of these are movies that I'm planning to get to, so expect reviews on some of these, reviews that go more in depth, okay? So first off, well, these are in no order, by the way. Wow, I just got brighter. Oh my god, the lighting. um these are in no order. I just wrote them how I saw them on my letterbox, okay, which I did plug last video. So if you guys want to check out my letterbox, see some upcoming reviews or lists that I'm going to be discussing on this channel ahead of time, you can get that sneak peek before by going in the link in my description. So first movie I have written down here is a movie called Dashcam, which I'm sure some of you have heard. I saw this movie on Hulu. To my understanding, I thought this was a movie on Shudder, but I guess I could be wrong. It still might be on Shudder, I'm pretty sure, but um I don't know. I was kind of surprised when I saw it on Hulu. So that was a movie I did watch on Hulu. I don't think I mentioned that one in Halloween, but Dashcam is, of course, just by the title of it, you can kind of assume it's a found footage almost type of style film. This one has to do with like a live streamer. This one's kind of like Spree, if you've ever seen that movie. Um, Dashcam. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, I did like the movie. Okay, it was pretty fun. I had a good time. Unfortunately, main girl Annie. Yes, I wrote down her name because I suck at that. Annie, I didn't like her, okay? She was really annoying and just like all up in everyone's face, and she's like anti-masker, and it's just like she was just not my final girl, okay? I would have been fine if she would have died in this movie, okay? But yeah, movie's good, character not so much. And then I did mention I think in my Halloween video, and I think in another video, that I did watch for the first time this year, Ghostbusters. I watched the first two. Only like the first one. The second one, I could do without. I don't mind it, but I could do without it. Ghostbusters 1, great movie. It's one of those movies where I ask myself, how have you not seen it? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's a classic that everyone has to see at one point, and I just don't know how I haven't seen it until now. But now it's definitely a movie I think I'd want to watch like every now and then, maybe every October. Not really a horror movie. Okay, I understand, not a horror movie, but it's a good October film, so I guess that makes sense. The Grim Cuddy. I didn't like this movie if you saw my Halloween video, okay? I hated this movie so much. It's like a internet urban legend myth type of thing where like if you summon it like or like it makes people kill people. It's kind of like Slenderman, but to be fair, Slenderman flopped. We all know that. The movie flopped. I'm talking about the movie, not the character itself. The movie flopped, and this was kind of like another attempt but with a different character. Still wasn't that good, okay? I'm sorry. I actually looked forward to this movie, and I didn't end up liking it. It was just boring to me. Like, the character itself, the Grim Cuddy, if that's even what it's called, I saw this movie once, guys, and I clearly didn't care enough about it. Character was pretty boring, lame in a way, but makes kids like kill people. I don't know, it's not a movie for me. Okay, the story kind of sounds cool, like it sounds like a good thriller movie or whatever, but it wasn't a movie for me. I'm sorry. Next one, wasn't sure if I was gonna add it to this list, but I felt like I had to because it kind of touches with like classic horror, and plus Dead Meat did a kill count on it, so I felt like I had to include it, and that is Werewolf by Night, the Marvel Studios special film. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It was boring to me. I started losing interest like not even halfway through it. I was just bored out. This one is I still like the fact that Marvel decided to take this like approach on like, bringing back like classic monsters and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of cool, but the movie itself I just wasn't a fan of. We have Halloween Ends. I did my review. That was actually my first video coming back to YouTube. So if you want to check out more in depth, go check that video out. As you may know, this movie wasn't my favorite from the Blumhouse trilogy, but I guess I don't mind it. I just, I had a lot to say. So if you want to hear me go on a rant about why I chose this movie as like my least favorite, go check out that video. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna say wasn't my favorite Halloween movie. And I mean, I guess it's a movie I can check out at once every October just to be like, let's watch the 3 Halloween Blumhouse movies. But I could do without it. I just don't mind it in that way. Next movie I saw is Haunt, which I think is a Shudder movie. So Haunt, it was fun. Okay, I had fun with it. It's actually a really good movie. It kind of felt like, what is that one? Hellfest. It's like, this like haunted house type of thing, open for the public. But once you go in, like the actors are like killing people. So it kind of felt like that. If it's a movie that interests you, I definitely say go check it out. I really liked it. And I think it's been out for a while. I could be wrong. I had thought this movie just came out, but I don't know. Okay, I didn't write down dates. Okay, be thankful that I wrote down names because I don't know dates, but I'm trying to work on names. All right, I watched Misery for the first time. This is the only Stephen King movie that I have that's like new. I did watch some other Stephen King movies this month, but they're movies that I've seen in the past already, so I didn't include them in here. Misery, it was pretty fun. It's a very like December horror movie, so I think this movie didn't hit right this time watching it, but I think I'm gonna give it another try in December, see if it hits different, because believe it or not, movies and like music and all these things, like they hit different when it's their season. This movie does have to do with like winter. There is snow, so maybe this movie does hit different in December. I don't know. I'll give it another try. But for the first and only Stephen King movie on this list, I just want to say it's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie about that. Go check it out if you want. I'm definitely gonna revisit it, and I might even do a review, like a revisit review on this channel sometime in December. Look forward to it if you want. Terrifier, I watched it, loved it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a video on this most likely after Halloween, because I do have another video planned for Halloween day, and I don't want to say anything right now because I'm like I know that if I start saying anything, I'm gonna just get into all the spoilers. So just look forward to that video. I'm gonna just keep that one secret because I really want to talk about this movie. But if you're wondering if I liked it or not, I did like it. Okay, I actually like this one better than the original. So there's that. Maybe someone out there feels different, but if you want to know details, look forward to that video. Okay, another one that isn't a horror movie, but it is a Tim Burton movie, which fits perfectly for October and Halloween. This movie, I can't believe this is the first time I ever watched this movie, but it is Beetlejuice. Had never seen it before. I've seen tons of Tim Burton before, over and over again, but I had never given Beetlejuice a chance, and this time I finally did. And it wasn't like my favorite Tim Burton film, but it was a really good movie in my opinion. Like, it's one that I can most likely throw on at least once every October, but it's not a movie that I'm like, I'm dying for it to be October just so I can, put this movie on. But, that's just my opinion. It's a good movie. I'm glad I finally gave it a chance. I knew what I was missing out on. Okay, it's a good Winona Ryder movie. Okay, I love Winona Ryder, if you don't know that. But it just wasn't my favorite Tim Burton film. Okay, so please don't kill me. Okay, that's just my opinion. I still like it. Okay, but there's other Tim Burton films above this movie. Just know that. Okay. This is another one that I did talk about in my Hulu video, and that is The Sixth Sense. Finally watched this for the first time. Everyone used to always tell me that this is the scariest movie of all time. It really wasn't. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just my opinion, but this movie was not scary at all. This movie felt more like a family film than a horror film. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for something as like a beginner for horror, I think The Sixth Sense is like perfect for it, Um, in my Halloween video, I talked about like the 3 levels of scare that they brought out. I believe The Sixth Sense was in like their first level. So that first level I think is really good for beginners. So, I consider this movie a movie for beginner horror fans. If you're interested in evolving from like, starting from small to like, getting to something like Terrifier, you can definitely start with The Sixth Sense. Movie about a boy named Cole who sees ghosts. I'm sure you all know that famous line that says, "I see dead people." That's what that movie is. Bruce Willis is also in it, so go check it out if you're a Bruce Willis fan. If you haven't seen it, I think it's worth the watch. It's kind of like Ghostbusters. I feel like you have to at least see it once, and it's up to you if you liked it or not. I did watch Hellraiser 2022. So this one, by far, don't think I've done a review on this one, but this one by far I think is the best Hellraiser movie we've gotten, because the only one I can watch like comfortably out of all the Hellraiser, like the franchise, is the original. After the original, I could care less about the Hellraiser movies, but Hellraiser 2022 was probably my like number one favorite Hellraiser movie. Now, this one, I do want to point out, uh Pinhead is played by a woman this time, which I thought was amazing. Okay, I was excited since the first time I heard about that. I know that probably made people mad, but what can we do, right? So, Jamie Clayton plays Pinhead, right? Never heard of this actress until then, but uh plays Pinhead on Google. If you look up the Hellraiser movie and you go to the cast, it says Jamie Clayton plays Pinhead. When I checked Letterboxd, it says Jamie Clayton played the priest. I don't know if that was just like a mistake that they made, or like something I missed. To be fair, I don't remember hearing them call Pinhead by her name. I'm sorry, Pinhead. I've never heard the name. I didn't hear the name Pinhead once in this movie, so it would make sense if they're like, well, technically, Pinhead's name's not Pinhead in this movie. I don't know. I was confused with the names, but that doesn't really take away from the movie. This movie was actually really good. This is like, I only like 2 Hellraiser movies, the original and this one, and I think this one is like my number one favorite. Loved it. Okay. Next, I watched Smile. I have a review on that. And if you've seen it, I don't like this movie. Okay, this movie was kind of lame to me. I had so much hope for this movie, but I just lost interest. Okay, the character was boring. The whole idea with the smile, like, yeah, it was creepy, but it kind of felt cheesy while watching the movie. And then like, it's one of those movies where like the trailer kind of spoils everything. So I don't know. I didn't have fun with it that much, but check it out if you haven't seen it. I guess everyone deserves to at least give it a try once, and then you decide if you liked it or not. Then I watched Pearl, which I also did a review on, and I love this movie. Okay, I freaking love Pearl. I love how A24 is really like focusing on this like series, or like this, like, you know, they're making this like thing into a franchise where it's like X, you know, and then it's like Pearl, and then we're gonna have like the Maxine film. So I love that A24 is like focusing on this series because it's great. Honestly, I love it. Check out my review if you want more details on why I love it, you know. Next we have a movie called Monster, which, okay, I just want to say, I know for a fact in one of my previous videos I mentioned that I wasn't going to be talking about the Dahmer series because I just don't want to talk about serial killers, you know, on this channel. I want to just talk about like horror movies and thriller movies and stuff like that, and I don't want to bring like, you know, actual real life serial killers into this. But this movie does focus on a real life serial killer by the name of, I'm sorry if I butcher this name, Eileen Wuornos, I believe that's her name. Pretty famous female serial killer. This is a movie based on her. You know, if you don't know who she is, go look her up. There's a bunch of videos on her. I did watch a lot of like videos of people talking about her life right after I saw this movie because I just felt like interested in like this serial killer. But, you know, I don't get as excited with serial killers anymore as I do with like horror movies and stuff like that. So don't expect like me to do a review on this movie. I just put it on here because it is a movie that I watched this month. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, movie was, it was pretty good, I guess. It wasn't my favorite film, but you know, I kind of liked it, you know. The actress who plays Wednesday Addams is also in this, so you know, if you're a fan of hers, check her out in this film. Pretty great. I also watched my very first Urban Legend movie. I had never seen any of these movies, but I did watch, I don't know which number one this is, but this is Bloody Mary. It was pretty good, I guess. You know, it wasn't my favorite movie. I can tell this franchise or this series of films isn't really going to be like my number one or anywhere near my top, but I mean, it was a pretty decent film. I haven't seen the other ones. I know there's like two more. I don't know how many there is actually. I know, but there's one called like Urban Legend, and then there's another one with like another subtitle. This one is just Bloody Mary Urban Legend. This is the only one I've seen from this series, so maybe I'll check out the rest of this like franchise or whatever, see if I like it. This one, it was pretty good. I didn't love it, didn't hate it, but I watched it, you know. I finally gave this series a chance. Another movie that I finally gave a chance to because I had never seen anything about these movies, didn't even hear about them until like last year, and I did watch my very first Puppet Master movie. I did watch the original. Had no idea there's so many. There's a lot of Puppet Master movies out there, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to watch all of them anytime soon because it's a movie that doesn't really catch my attention, but I just wanted to give it a chance, especially this month, and now I know whether or not I want to even go further with this series. But Puppet Master, the first one, wasn't that bad. Didn't love it either, but I don't know, maybe I'll check out more of them. But the original one, I think, kind of won me over a little bit. But the other ones, I looked through so many of them. There was a lot actually, and I don't know if I have interest in enough to check out all of them, you know. And then the last film I did watch, I saw this one with my mom, and she really liked it. I personally didn't love it because it was supposed to be a thriller movie, but it, to me, it didn't really like. I didn't feel the thriller. I didn't really feel any horror or anything, and that is a movie called Abandoned, I think it's what it's called, with Emma Roberts. It's a movie about, it's kind of like Insidious, where it's like the stay-at-home mom with a baby, and the husband goes off to work. She starts hearing and seeing stuff happening like in her home. You know, she thinks she's going crazy. The husband comes home, is like, want to help her. He doesn't really believe any of this. It's one of those movies, not really scary. It's supposed to be a thriller, not really horror, but I just wanted to check it out because I was like, why not? You know, it was on Hulu, so if you have Hulu, you want to check it out, check it out. My mom liked it. I personally didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either, okay? So that is everything I watched this month. There's, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff that I watched this month, but a lot of them were like things that I had already seen before, so I had no reason to really put it in here because I mainly want to do this with movies that I watched for the first time. So any of these movies, by the way, I could rewatch in November, and then at the end of November do a video like everything I watched in November 2022 and not include it again because I had already seen it, you know. But any other movies that I've seen before, I can always just do a revisit just to put it on here, you know. If any of these movies by any chance, if you want me to do a full like review or like revisit them, let me know in the comments. I did want to do one for Hellraiser, don't know if I'll get to, most likely I will though. I wanted to do one on Puppet Master. I did one on Pearl. I did one on Smile. I did one on Halloween Ends. I'm gonna do Terrified 2, so look forward to that. Okay, that will most likely come in like the first week of November. I do want to revisit Misery in December because, like I said, I feel like it's a movie that might hit different during the winter and not really so much in October. You know, Ghostbusters. Maybe I feel like it would be a comforting film to watch in December as well, so I'll give that another watch for sure. Werewolf by Night, don't think I'm ever gonna mention this movie ever again on here, mainly not just because it's a Marvel movie and not really a horror movie, but you know, I just don't really like it enough to, you know, bring it back on here. And didn't really feel like a horror movie anyway. It just felt like a regular Marvel film to me, even though it did touch up on like classic horror. But you know, not gonna do that. Beetlejuice, I'm not gonna do a review on it because it's not really a horror movie, and I'm not really gonna be talking about Tim Burton films on here unless it's one of his actual horror movies, you know. Dashcam, I can maybe do a review on it. I feel like I might want to because that movie was pretty funny. You know, like I said, main character Annie sucked, but what can we do? Grim Cuddy didn't like it. Haunt really liked it. Might do a review on it eventually. The Sixth Sense, maybe not. Honestly, I don't think it's horror for me enough to review it again. But did want to mention it because it was a horror movie that was like always recommended to me, and I just never watched it. Finally did. So, you know, there you go. Monster, not really gonna mention that ever again. I'm not gonna do a review on it. And I just wanted, I literally only mentioned it because it's a movie that I watched this year and it technically has to do with a killer. So felt the need to mention it. So anyway, that is it for my October list of movies that I have seen this month. I want to do this every month, at the end of every month, you know. Every month I do watch like something different, you know. Maybe some months it's gonna be, the list is gonna be a little shorter, maybe a little longer, you know. Look forward to that. But in the meantime, you know, hopefully you enjoyed this video and look forward to those movie reviews that I said that I'm gonna get to eventually. And I hope you guys have a great Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.